So if our partner or our family member has a big emotion, we want to fix it. We want to respond to that emotion in a proactive way. But in fact, the need is validation, not solution, but validation. That's huge. What an aha. If the car is broken, and it needs something fixed, you take it to the shop and they fix it. But if your family member is expressing emotion, their need is to validate their emotion. Now, what happens in 5D is that we're so plugged into source and we're so plugged into our authentic self, we don't require another person to validate us because we feel the validation in our being. But in 3D, we don't have that. And so emotion grows and is very curious because people don't realize that what they are seeking is just someone to say, I hear you. I hear you. I feel your pain. And not to solve it, because solving it means you've skipped over you've skipped over my pain. You've ignored the pain. You just want to go to the solution. You don't really care about me. And it's so interesting to see this. And it's a big aha for a lot of people. So emotion is a way to get closer to source, because the leap between 3D and 5D is through emotion. And a lot of people don't realize that. So when you're in a heavy emotional state, whether it's high joy or high sadness, the veils get thinner and your connection to source gets bigger. And if you're going to stay in that loop of dissatisfaction and unhappiness, you will perpetuate the problem. If you're in joy and you are in high vibe, you slide right into 5D without even realizing it. So there's this quality of 4D that makes you move faster than you would in 3D. So that's another way you can kind of notice what's going on. Yesterday when I was all upset and all worked up, I was actually getting ready to slide into 5D, but instead I used my emotion to perpetuate my wound and to validate me because nobody else will, So the key here is to understand that emotion is the tool, again, another tool that allows us to experience the reality with greater intensity. And it is up to us to recognize that we only need to do that once. We don't need to do it multiple times. We have tended to use emotion to fuel our wound and to re-injure ourselves emotionally by retelling our sad story. And this is why I told people in the first book I wrote, which is called Be a Genie, stop telling your story to everyone that comes along and instead count and only tell it 3 times. And when you do that, you've created permission to validate yourself with others, but you've also put a hard stop on re-injuring yourself. Because after you do it the 3rd time, if you keep doing it, you're re-injuring yourself, and then you have created another one you got to undo.
Mm.